Guys, welcome back to the Whatever Football Podcast, episode 13. How you doing, Ralphie?
1 and 3.
One and three,
fucking
yeah.
top of the world, mate. How are you?
Yeah, but well, for a short time, we're still top of the league. So
I was gonna say, I'm gonna keep saying it. If City eventually take you over, or someone actually takes you over, I won't say top of the world, but
you're gonna say you say someone. If anyone's taking us over, it's gonna be City.
Yeah, true. Well, if City take you over, I will stop saying top of the world. But every week I make sure, every pod I make sure I say it, so that way you can say top of the league.
Yeah, I gotta enjoy it while I can. I've always said that. Enjoy it while I can.
Very much so. And hey, we're coming into November, and you're still there.
Coming into November, and I think what do we got? I think three more league games, one more cup game, plus Europa. A couple of Europa, I think maybe, until the World Cup. So I guess in the Premier League sense, there's three match day weeks I think left to the World Cup. So
yeah, that's it. I'm pretty sure that's it.
Yeah, genuinely not that much. So there's still a chance that we can withhold that till the World Cup and hopefully get some good rest for that 5 weeks or whatever for the players that aren't playing. But we'll see what happens. Obviously, a very eventful weekend, I think, for nearly every match that was played, minus City. I think that's probably the only standard result that everyone would have foreseen. Obviously, a lot of shock results. I think your game obviously panning out last second, 1-1. We'll talk about it. Liverpool, obviously, massive shock. I stayed up and watched that bit, but I couldn't believe. I know, you and I, we'll talk about it. But like you and I, obviously said like it would just be so funny if they beat Man City and then lose to Nottingham. Exactly what they did.
We'll get into it. Yes, we will get into it.
We literally said it. Obviously, Newcastle beating Tottenham, crazy. Well, not crazy. It is Tottenham, so they are a bunch of bottle jobs. And then, just I guess like VAR general in a whole, and obviously our game as well that was played this morning. But look, we'll get into it. Do you want to start with Liverpool first on the loss first, or
we will start with Liverpool just before we get to that? Big shout out to who will be watching this, Mark Brennan, for the jersey. I've had this one sitting in my chest. Well, sorry, in my walk-in robe, I should say, since July for my 30th when I was in
walk-in
Melbourne.
robe.
Walk-in robe, mate, and a nice hanger since my 30th in July when we went and watched United.
Was that his present?
And he left it in the room. I packed it in my bag accidentally, and still got it, mate. So fantastic. Thank you very much, sir. In terms of Liverpool, it's actually funny, right? I reckon if we sort of go back to maybe 7 o'clock, 7:15 on Friday night, we were both sort of giggling and saying, imagine if Forest, within reason, if you hate, the opposition team, you sort of always joke about it, but we both genuinely said, imagine if Forest picked up, well, I said picked up points, right? I didn't say probably a win. I said potentially a draw.
Well, just for for the fact that like the Liverpool haven't been on good form and the way that the fans were gassing up everything was just it was a little bit too over the top, back in the title race. We're back, Salah's back, everyone's bloody back, but clearly not.
Exactly, right. It made me laugh that when did they play? Thursday morning. I think they were Thursday morning, weren't they? City Liverpool, or Wednesday morning, something like that. Mid last week.
The City Liverpool was the morning one, and then obviously their game I think was Saturday night, 9:30.
Saturday night, correct? Yeah. So either Thursday or Friday, it made me laugh that I was getting messages from I can't remember if I touched base, but on Friday, but I was getting messages from Liverpool supporters saying, "Oh, if we only get 4 draw, if we can get another 4 draws throughout the rest of the year, and we'll still be on the same amount of points." So after the loss against,
what's happening, brother?
Ashton, how are you?
Legend,
after the loss, I was quick to message saying, "Hey, only 29 more games to go, and I think 27 more games to go, and guess what? You can still get one more draw out of 27, and you'll still end up on the same points."
The fact is, like they're gassing up like they're back in a title race, they're back in form, all this sort of stuff. But realistically, like we're double their points right now. Yeah. I think we how many points are they on? 14?
16. So close.
If
you won this morning.
Look, it's close enough. We're essentially nearly double, and they're trying to tell us that they're back and stuff. Like, chill out, man. Like they haven't even been playing the best of football. But like we said, obviously last week on the Friday, it wouldn't shock me if they went and got such a big result like that, and then they went and took that L. And obviously, we both in our predictions, we both picked Liverpool, obviously,
of course,
because you would have to. You can't really bet against it. It's one of those ones where you maybe on your sports app and you just say, whatever, I'm just gonna chuck $10, 10 quid on bloody Nottingham to win. It's paying like $21, and you're just taking the piss. But they did it, man. And honestly, and credit to Nottingham, man. They played good football and they created a lot of chances. They didn't take a lot. Obviously, their goal was a little bit sloppy, but they definitely created a lot of chances against Liverpool in that game. And it paid off.
They did. I agree. I agree. They did. Yeah, definitely.
And obviously the excuses of Trent and all that sort of stuff, that excuse thrown out the window, I think, Van Dijk's still sloppy.
I'd say it was probably a 50-50 game, to be honest with you.
Oh, for sure.
From the highlights that I saw, yeah.
Dean Henderson, obviously, I think even in the last minute made a great save. And then he started giving the finger to the fans. Yeah, it's crazy.
From Virgil in terms of the corner. Great save down to his left-hand side. And then
the power that Virgil had and the height that he got down to that, exceptional save, especially in the last second of the game. So, credit to him. He's been under scrutiny, obviously. And fairly so, but
I
he was definitely man of the match for them. I reckon.
What interests me, right, or what intrigues me is for the sheer fact that Klopp came out and pretty much put VVD on a platter there and said, he had 4 or 5 chances, he should be doing better, he's a world class player, blah 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 blah. And I thought, very very rarely do you see Klopp doing things like that, eh? So I think the pressure is getting to him.
But you can see the way he's handling his interviews, definitely pressure getting to him. But, I think in this situation as well, you can never, unless you are City, and to be realistic, you can't really maintain that high status for a high consistency of time. They don't invest like Man City. They've never really replaced from what they had. Yes, they've bought in, well, to be fair, they brought in Diaz, got rid of Mane. They brought in, instead of Firmino, they brought in Nunez. I guess midfield, they are lacking a bit.
Midfield's well, what I look at, right, and what sort of makes me laugh is that when you've got Trent, that's shit. Well, defensively he's shit.
Defensively disgusting.
When you're replacing him with Milner, that I think has probably been around that. I reckon he's been around the trap since I was in nappies, and I'm 30. Not realistically, right, but that's what it feels like.
Yeah,
right? And it's he used to play for City. What it felt like fucking 10, 15 years ago.
Long time ago. Yeah.
When you're replacing Trent with a Milner, I just think they lack complete depth in terms of their front three. They're half decent, and they.
But I still think I honestly think there's no cohesion there. There's no cohesion because the way that I see it is that Nunez and Diaz, they work well together. And look, I don't want to spend too much time talking about Liverpool because I don't want to waste my time on them. But Nunez and Diaz, they work well together. They got that, whether it's because, same league, same style of football. Where Salah, to me, he is someone that runs into those pockets where maybe Diaz is. And because when Diaz plays, Firmino is so used to him, Firmino allows Salah to take that position, which is when Salah has been scoring. But he hasn't been scoring when Diaz is on the pitch. And, that could be, a little bit of a downfall, to them potentially. If Salah doesn't adapt, I've seen a few Liverpool fans come out and make statements that dude, some of these fucking Liverpool fans, such wankers. I saw a Liverpool Milner's debut was 20 years ago. If that's true, that's fucking wild.
Ashton, when did he, out of curiosity without me Googling it, so does that make him, how old is Milner? He must be late, I would say sort of 36, 37 then, unless he started extremely early.
Well, he probably made his debut, let's say, because he wasn't he a Villa or something really early on?
Yeah.
So he made him, let's say 16, 17 maybe, 17 debut.
So even that puts him like Ronaldo's age.
Yeah, he would be, yeah. Playing better football than Ronaldo.
Yeah, true. Because he's playing.
That's true. It's true. But look, I've seen a couple of Liverpool fans, saying, "Oh, look how many goals Salah would score in this Arsenal team," and it's like, man, shut up. He's 36. There you go. That's crazy. So debut at 16.
Wow.
That's crazy. What a career though. He's played at the highest level for his whole career.
Oh, very impressive. Yes, very impressive.
Yeah. So someone like him, you'd think that he'd probably retire next year or something like that. Leeds.
You would assume so. It's funny actually. Just I don't know if you saw the meme just quickly with Klopp, in his post-match interview, and it said, I don't think I sent it through to you, and I saw it yesterday morning, and it said, the boys found it really difficult today, as we assumed we're playing in a forest, not on a pitch. You know how he's like always got every excuse under the sun. It's like, the boys thought we're playing in the forest, and all of a sudden we rock up and we're playing on a pitch. Like, what do you expect them to do?
bloody Klopp, man. He is making a lot more excuses.
He's
but look,
shocking.
I don't want to keep talking about Liverpool. Let's go on to your game. Obviously, Man United, Chelsea, obviously in that game, getting a penalty, which will, I guess, correlate to maybe a little bit of Arsenal's, because I sent you those photos. How it's just such a, I guess, like it's pretty much the same thing. You know what I mean? Same thing. One was given, one wasn't, and that's what we talk about all the time: consistency in refereeing and decisions and whatever. Which I don't get me wrong, they're both penalties. Yours was a penalty, you wrapped him up, and then obviously you guys, getting a last-minute goal just over the line.
Good goal.
How are you feeling? Obviously, just scraping the result right at the end.
Yeah, I think in terms of the might be a little bit biased. However, I think we probably deserve the result, to be honest with you, in terms of how we looked at, especially in the first half.
I think so. I think based on the balance.
Potter made a sub in the first, after 35 minutes to to bring on what's his name? Kukovic, or what's his bloody
Kovacic.
Yeah, Kovacic. To bring on Kovacic, because he could see, Matt, they were getting absolutely dominated. So I think in terms of, run a play, Chelsea sort of had a little bit of a spell when Varane came off. We sort of dropped back about 5-10 yards, and sort of, we're sort of seemed like we're hanging on a little bit. But in terms of chances away from home,
clear cut or anything.
No, nor did. Well, Rashford probably should have buried 2 in the first half.
Rashford.
Why he still tries to thump his laces through every single fucking shot, mate, is beyond me. Like, mate, that's what I would expect under 11s to do. Get in the goal and just try and whack it as hard as you can, no matter where you go. And I'm actually going to get onto that a little bit later, because there's actually an opportunity that in the Arsenal game that I thought that too, right? And I thought, like you've got the whole goal to aim at. You're pretty much one-on-one with the keeper. He had it against Spurs. I'm pretty sure against Spurs as well. He's beat the defender down the line, cut back in on his left foot, and he's just tried to just hit it anywhere. Like, mate, you got the whole goal to aim at. I just don't get it. But in terms of your overall,
he's not
overall game, I think we probably deserve 3 points. Would I have taken a point? Definitely. Away from home at Stamford Bridge. There's 2 things that I want to touch on. Number one, you said it was a pen with the McTominay. Personally, do I believe so? Yes, right. However, we're going to get back
it's the
correct. And I was just about to say, we're going to get into it a little bit later on. However, yes, should it be a pen? Bloody oath. However, mate, that happens 2-3 times a game. If you nitpick, that happens 2-3 times a game. So if that is a pen, then there should be 2 to 3 penalties every single game for that. I
think it's obviously in the context of, the position of the player, what he's trying to do in that moment. I think there's a lot of variables to it, but if you're wrapping someone up as a defender, like, you shouldn't do that. Yes, you can hold off someone and stuff, but if you're physically like grabbing someone and dragging them to the floor, then it has to be a pen for me.
Yeah,
but it's just inconsistency.
It's inconsistency. Sancho's, fuck knows what happens to him. You're not wrong. Sancho's shithouse. I don't know what's happened to him since he come to us. Like, I've given him a lot of. I've given a lot of time.
I said this when Sancho first came to the league. A lot of people were hyping him up, and I said, he's English, but he's never played the English game. He played obviously in Bundesliga,
City.
but that's a whole different. Yeah, but he was City as a kid,
only 21s or something. Yeah.
Yeah, he never made it through. He never made a professional debut for City, and then obviously Bundesliga. He adapted. It's a different style of football over there, different team as well. Like, it was more flowing in that Dortmund team than it was in this United team. You got to do a lot more work in this team, in this system, and obviously he's just not adapting. And to me, obviously he's a massive flop right now. And do I really see him improving? I don't know, because I'm not seeing anything from him at all that's even showing it. You don't even see those little like if someone's like not in good form, you will still see, like when I used to watch, let's say for argument's sake, like Pepe, they used to call him a flop. But to me, the guy still pulled out worldy goals, still beat players. He was frustrating in so many aspects of the game. But I could see the talent there. And for me, he was still the most technical footballer at Arsenal. But I wouldn't have started him because he just wasn't doing, wasn't pressing, wasn't tracking back, he wasn't doing the basics. I don't see anything from Sancho. He's not bringing out goals, not bringing out assists. He's not beating players. And someone with him, and he's got pace. He's not taking on players. That's why he got
dropped the other week because
it's just weird.
I think it was where we got thumped by, who was it? By City it was. I'm pretty sure it was. And one of the goals, he lost the ball. He either gave the ball away or gave a shit pass. And all you can see from the video footage is City breaking and him just standing there with his head down like, oh, fuck, my ball's done. Mate, you just lost the ball. At least go and make a fucking attempt to catch him.
That's why Martinelli is my favorite player. Even if and same with Sanchez, when Sanchez was at Arsenal, like that guy used to lose it a lot per game. But the thing is, he never fucking gave up. He just constantly ran. Like, and
Anthony
the thing is, even if you put the pressure on him, you can still obscure a pass. You can still obscure a decision. But to give them time to make a cross or to press up the field, like it's criminal, honestly.
Anthony does that very, very well for us.
Obviously, he needs to step up a lot. But look, you guys, you got a result, at least a draw right at the death, and I think those points are really important. The amount of times that we came away scoring a last-minute goal last season. We got called, celebration police, for celebrating wins now, and Casemiro screaming and Martinez in with fans, And
also, great passion from Casemiro. I did love that. He potentially could have had a goal in every single game so far that he's started in.
He's missed a lot of chances. Yeah, he missed a few headers. Yeah,
a few headers, a couple of shots. But I actually read something this morning. So I know what we've played 11 games. So we got another 8 to go before we're officially halfway, which will obviously be post World Cup. However, apart from Fulham that are 7th, which let's be honest, surprise package at the moment.
It's crazy. You don't even think of them as being like Fulham.
We've played apart from Fulham, we've played the top 11. So we played Arsenal, City, Tottenham, Newcastle, Chelsea. Played Fulham. We haven't. We're 6th. Fulham,
but you know what?
We have Brighton, Brentford. We got flogged by Everton. We've beaten and Palace. We've actually won. So there you go. So we've got the bottom 13. We've got apart from Fulham, we've got 13 and below for our next 8 fixtures.
But you know
we're
what?
Only 8 points behind the top. We're only 8 points behind. I know. Yeah.
The thing with United, and I've always said this to you, you do well against the big teams. It's when you'll go to someone shit like a Nottingham and lose. You'll go to Wolves when they're in bad form and you'll get a draw 0-0. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's no one expected Brentford to slap. They fucking slapped you. You know what I mean? Like things like that. And that's the concept I can't understand. It's like your guys switch because like Man United, big game, we've got to get a result. And you guys, I'll always like trust that you'll get a result against a big team.
It's like when a team is happy to try and
it was like the opposite
0-0, try and go to 0-0 and hit on the counter. Then I know you could say, oh, Spurs is a counter-attacking team. Yeah, within reason, but like Spurs still had the quality. Like they still got the quality.
They got the quality up top. Yeah.
And that's where I think we struggle. So I do agree.
Yeah. Do you think Ronaldo is going to be back? Obviously for your next game, you're still adamant that that's it for him. He's not. Obviously, I've seen rumors that, he obviously I don't look a lot of his stuff, but I've seen stuff he's come into training early, training with the under-21s or something.
Yes,
and
I did read that. Yes, and I have seen that. Personally, I think just go. See, it's rock and a hard place because obviously we got Rashford. If Martial's fit, which
I'm telling you right now, I know Rashford.
Just go,
bro, but I would.
No, he's not a striker. Like no, yeah.
To me, Rashford needs to be adapted as a winger or something like that because the guy can't score. He's useless.
I do agree. Yes, if we got Martial, then happy days. I would say no, don't play Ronaldo. However,
it wouldn't surprise me in the summer. In the summer, you guys go for someone like an Ivan Toney, who I think deserves a bigger team. But will you guys make that stupid decision and go for someone like a Harry Kane?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, because I just wonder now. I think Kane's done his dash, and I don't think any team other than maybe Bayern Munich potentially would sign Harry Kane, and that way Harry Kane can get trophies in his career.
Oh yeah, of course, because he's got
guaranteed trophies there. But you know what I mean.
I saw a rumor today, like again, it was happening 3-4 months ago that I saw a rumor today that Chelsea would be very, very interested in taking Ronaldo in January.
I did see that as well. Yeah.
So
they even said that before the window.
Yeah,
they
were
talking about that as well. So
look, personally, I think we're going to get. I think we're going to get that Gapco.
He's not that good, mate.
Yeah, well, I don't think so, but I think that's who we'll get for 30 million.
Cody Guapo, Gapco, or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
When he versed us last week, bro, and
Ornery,
fucking anonymous, bro. Fucking
really,
ball control was horrible. Didn't take on. Look, I've seen him play, and he does okay in the Eredivisie or whatever it is. But you know, like anything, it's like a step up. You know, the same with Sancho coming, or
of course,
Anthony. You know, Anthony might have a drop off. You know, when Bruno came, you know, he was sensational. Everyone was talking best in the league, and now the guy's useless. You know what I mean? So
people were comparing it to De Bruyne. I think I even fucking was with you at one stage, right? Like,
listen, I can definitely understand why you would have compared him to De Bruyne. Ronaldo didn't want to stay. Eric Ten Hag didn't want him. The board is to blame. Yeah, look, definitely at both our clubs, the board is a big issue. Let's not forget Ronaldo only took a 1-game break after his daughter died to get United into Champions League. Very true. Very true, yeah.
It's funny you
could have definitely taken a lot more time off there, yeah.
I think I mentioned that. I think I gave that exact reason on Friday, so I'm glad to hear someone agrees with me.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Look, there's a lot of issues to be fixed there. I still think he can be integrated into the team because at the moment you can't risk a player like that to not be in there, especially even last year. You know, his form he's not the player that he used to be, but the guy scored 20-something goals last year in all competitions, plus assists, and he's player of his season, wasn't he, last year?
Yep. Sure was.
So, you know, there's still a role. Obviously, that role is to be seen, whether it's a role that he knows he can come back off the bench, 15 minutes to go, and you are just going to get Shaw and Dallo, and they're just going to fucking lob in crosses. And the guy can still jump and header a ball. You know what I mean?
Of course you can. Yeah.
So, if that's what you have to do to chuck a kitchen sink, then use Ronaldo as that guy. Because if you're going to do that, it's one of the best players to bring on and just chuck a kitchen sink at. Because he's still got the talent there, even though he's stagnant. You know, if a ball comes to his feet, he's going to bang it. So, you know, United obviously have to figure something out there. But if it's an attitude problem and a disrespect to the club, then, you know, at the end of the day, you got to respect the manager and his decision. You know, we had to do the same with Abba and Ozil when it came with Arteta. So I guess the same thing. Yeah. Anything else you want to discuss on your game?
No.
Before we go on to the next?
No. Happy. Let's onwards and upwards. Onwards.
All right. Well, we'll touch base, I guess, quickly on before we talk about the Arsenal game, because I want the Arsenal game to lead into just general refereeing decisions. But we'll talk about obviously Newcastle and Tottenham. I think, well, to me, it's not a shock result because I always tip Tottenham to lose. But I think Newcastle, bro, they need to be talked about. You know, they haven't really bought the glitz and the glamour players yet. You know, and Isak, I don't think Isak even played, did he?
No.
But
he might have come off the bench, but I don't think so.
I don't think he played from memory, from what I saw anyway. But, you know, like Almiron stepping up since since Grealish took the piss out of him. Man's been on fire, 5 goals and 5 plus assists.
And I got him, and I've had him in my fantasy the whole time too.
Nice. It's a good one, yeah. So he's obviously flying. Newcastle playing good football. Nothing really much more to say, man. They're playing good football, and you know, we sort of said at the start of the season, like a top 6 contender. And if they keep building on that in January and keep signing players, then, you know, maybe their success can come a lot sooner than what everyone thought. You know, a lot of people thought, well, even myself, I thought it would take like a few more years, but it's not even been a year in this transition. It's been 2 windows, I think.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
A January and a summer. And
and January was probably, I think they took over maybe 2 or 3 weeks before. So, you know, it's probably been one
very, very tight
window.
Yeah, 1 for 1, yeah. So, look, obviously going in the right direction, playing decent football, very strong at home, best defense in the league, actually.
I was just about to say, best defense in the league. Yeah. And again, only lost 1 game, as I mentioned to you the other week, right? Only lost 1 game, which is the 98th minute loss against Liverpool. So, you know, are they gonna challenge and win the league? No, and no,
not yet.
No. Are they a serious contender for that top 4 to 6 race? 100%.
Top 4 to 6.
And they've got no European football either. So that's
no
all
European
football. Worry about. No,
but you also got to look at the teams around, you know, and I think going off the last few years, you know, us in the race last year, you guys, you know, Tottenham, there was constant slip-ups in that whole race. You know, that shift, and especially that last 10 games, where we all switched positions about 10 times, and it wasn't until pretty much the last day that we knew what was going to happen in the top 4 when we bottled, I think, our second last game. So, look, anything can happen, obviously, and, you know, they'll keep building on it. They'll probably sign a lot more players. Strengthen in depth, you know, if Isak's still out until December, you know, that's Isak's one big signing. You know, they're going to probably do that with a center back, potentially, you know, more fullbacks, midfielders and stuff. You know, they've got Bruno Guimaraes. So look, they spend big money. and they're going to keep spending big money.
I was just about to say, right, I'm just looking at the team that started, and and what I think, and where I think they're smart. Yes, they spent, I think you said on Friday, like say 200+ million. But if you actually look at a team, right, they got Trippier, which I'd say quality.
Trippier is one of the signings of the season,
and you got Bruno, which is quality, right? And you got Elmer on great form, right? But apart from that, mate, they still got Longstaff. They got Callum Wilson. They got Jollington. They got Willock.
No.
Mate, you think about the team that they have.
I think they spent like 30 on Willock from us. Yeah,
they have in terms of their recruitment. I would say that they don't have one player. Technically speaking, they probably don't have one player where you go, "Wow, he is an absolute world beater." Right? Like he is an absolute world beater.
I think Isaac was maybe one of those statement signings. Yeah. I think Bruno he's not Bruno rejected us obviously to go there.
Yeah.
And then I think Isaac was the statement because he's 75 mil. A lot of teams were chasing him. No one wanted to pay the release clause, and they did it. They secured him, and yeah, obviously a step up from Real Sociedad, but
oh, of course, but yeah, I do. I'm just really
look as for Tottenham, bro. Like I've seen a few fans saying Conte out and stuff, and and I had this discussion before. Jose Ball, Conte Ball, same shit, man. There's no difference, and there is no difference between the both. Except with Jose, he used to change it up. Conte is just so stubborn, and it's just dead the whole game.
Yeah. That's all it is. It's just the same thing every single time. I don't know.
He's gone. Probably 6 months.
No, in terms of not talking about Conte, I'm talking about one of Spurs players. I know he was probably man of the match, but what I actually love is, mate, Hugo Lloris is so he loves it. He loves an error, doesn't he? Like I reckon every second week I'm seeing him make an absolute fucking balls up.
Howler. Yeah.
That pulls costs Spurs a goal. Yeah, he pulls off worldies, yes, but how personally I'd be going, mate.
Well, he's like 35 now.
I'd be going, I know you're the captain, but see you later. Like that first goal was shocking. That first goal was shocking. That cost me, the game.
Actually, yeah. Let's talk about
that. It wasn't a foul.
Okay, I think I look at that, and to me, Lloris just drops, hoping that he's going to get the foul. Correct. He didn't even. He went soft into
his
that.
Touch was 4 yards in front of him.
Wilson was literally standing there, solid. Came at him, drops on the floor.
Yeah.
And to me, no issue. Play on. Big up to Wilson, man. Very smart there. Turns around, composure, left foot over the top, goal. No issues there at all. So to me, 100% goal.
Hugo's touch was 4 yards in front of him, right? So if he actually touched it down and it was at his feet, I would say yes. However, you can clearly see, right, that the ball was, far, was miles away from him, right? So, it was a bad touch. Wilson's just come through, got it first. Happy days. He's obviously fallen like a sack of shit because he's realized, he's probably touched and gone, oh, I've made a balls up here. So this is what it makes me laugh because although he pulls off some worldies, I still don't understand how Tottenham have him as it reminds me of like Joe Hart, right, when he was with City. Like Pep obviously woke up and changed it. I just don't understand how Tottenham hasn't done.
They're a club that don't make big decisions. You know what I mean? Like they didn't take the risk on trying to sell Kane for 150 or 100 or whatever the offers were. And now they're going to hold on to him. The guy's going to do nothing, and he's going to go for
right? How stupid! Like as if. When Kane was when we were probably going to pay 150 million for Kane 18 months ago.
I'm telling you right now, if someone comes,
how would you not say yes?
Yeah. If United or Man City come in and they say Saka, we want you 150. As much as I love Saka, I will understand that because that 150 is going to develop our team
100% exactly
to be better. That one player is, you know what I mean? Like we're going to develop another winger that's 30 mil.
I wouldn't pay 100 million for Kane now. Oh, probably wouldn't even pay 80 to be honest.
50 mil.
Yeah.
He's 29 years old, coming to the guy just scores penalties. That's all he does.
Literally. Yeah, and a corner.
He brings in a couple of passes, but you don't need your striker to sit in CDM and offload a ball to Kane. It only works in that system. You will not work in any other system. I don't think so.
Correct. I agree.
He would really struggle in any other system. Maybe he works in like an Italy a bit slower, maybe Bundesliga, but if you put Kane in like City, us. It just doesn't work. But anyway, enough about those guys. Obviously, they lost, which is really good, And I think as a whole, obviously, you guys drop points. Spurs drop points. Liverpool drop points. Obviously, we will touch base on our game, I guess, now. So obviously, Arsenal dropping points as well. You jinxed it and tipped the freaking 1-1. And I told you not to do it. I said you're going to jinx us, and you fucking did. But look, I think as a game overall, being non-biased, definitely second half, Southampton came into it and deserved to get something out of it. They did pepper us, bro. We really lacked the I guess like we weren't retaining the ball well. You know, we just couldn't hold on to the ball, couldn't really create too much of it. We had created a lot of chances in the first half. Should have been 2, 3, 4 goals in front, honestly. Jesus missed a few sitters, you know, but the refereeing decisions throughout the game, I think they implement the style of the game as well. Because to me, when you start a game, if a referee or if a defender's taking you out constantly, and the referee isn't giving free kick, he's not giving free kicks, he isn't giving yellow cards, that player is going to persist to do that through the whole game, and that creates an obstruction in the style of football that we're trying to play, because they're constantly on us, we can't play a style of football because they're not getting any repercussions for taking us out. And it happened on multiple occasions. We had obviously we scored a great goal with Xhaka. We scored a disallowed goal because the ball went out with Tierney and Odegaard, which was understandable. Ball definitely went out, but great finish. And I think we had probably nearly 2 or 3 penalty decisions that went against us. Players wrapped around. I showed you the photos. Wrapped around. That same decision. In your game, in contrast, got given a penalty for Chelsea. Yet in our game, the decision got checked to VAR. There was no video review. They weren't looking at it.
That is exactly the same, if not worse, because Jesus is a one-on-one.
But the thing has happened twice as well. Jesus then runs over the shoulder, and a second time his arm's over his shoulder and drags him down.
Yeah, but that was outside the box.
The other one's a bit. But still, that's not even a free kick. It was play on. That's what I'm talking about. Then there was Saka. Saka ran through, got tripped in the legs. Referee gives him a yellow for dissent.
So here's a couple of funny things, right, that I've seen from the videos. Number one, I would say that the Jesus shout in terms of the penalty, what I look at, right, is, if it's like a, like the failure you're talking about, the Jesus, back to goal, and Olmate clearly pulls him down, say 22 yards out, right? Shit like that does happen, right? You're not going to get every single call your way. Yes, was it a foul? Yes, it was a free kick. That penalty with Jesus, I think, was more of a penalty than McTominay gave away in our game, and also 100%. Jesus was 6-7 yards. Oh,
just about to shoot the goal.
Let's say about 10 yards out, one-on-one with the keeper. So McTominay's was the
edge of the box. He was edge of the box,
from a corner. So, how is one a penalty and one's not? So that's the first scenario, right? The second one that I, just from watching the replays once, from that video that I watched, exactly what you said. So you had Saka that was fouled on the touch line. I think this is a different scenario than the third one I'm going to go into. But Saka was fouled on the touch line, which Saka clearly fouled on the touch line where it wasn't a free kick. And I don't know if this ended up leading into the next scenario or not. However, pretty much that exact foul was the foul where what Salah copped, and Klopp ended up getting a red card for dissent from the referee for making a shit decision. So that's the second one. And again, that's just the free kick, yes, but still,
it's the inconsistency.
Right? Yeah. Inconsistencies. And number 3, if that was not a headbutt on Saka,
it's not the head. It was on Eddie Nketiah. So
it was Nketiah. So I thought it was
a head. It was a headbutt followed by fucking chokeslam WWE shit. And to me, I literally saw Granit Xhaka do that 2 years ago, and I remember that exact moment. I was sitting here and I was watching that fucking game.
I was watching it too.
I was doing a live stream, and as soon as I saw Xhaka get up and he just moved his hand to his neck, he didn't have to do anything. As soon as you made that movement, I knew straight away that Xhaka, red card, you are fucking done. You cannot do that in professional football. You can't react.
I remember messaging you live, I'm pretty sure, and said, and
I was losing my shit.
Yeah.
But watching that happen, I was losing my shit because I know this motherfucker's off, because he was taking us out. He just headbutted Eddie and then he grabbed him by the throat. I thought, this is a fucking 100% red card. He gave him a yellow. It didn't even get fucking checked. The VAR said nothing about it. And I can't fucking.
You know what I don't get, right? There's two things for that particular scenario, right? Number one, he got up and he gave like that, right? Did he go?
It was like an elbow into
no. But yeah, he got up and went like that, right? Chest, clearly leading with his head, right? Clearly. In terms of the choke, was it like a "I'm going to strangle"? It
wasn't.
But you know what? What I
made the mannerism to do it.
What I personally think, right? If I don't know who the other Arsenal player was, however, if that Arsenal, I think it might have been Xhaka. If Xhaka or whoever didn't actually get involved because someone pushed him off straight away. So he pretty much went like that. And as he went like that, an Arsenal player pushed him away. And I guarantee you that if the Arsenal player didn't push him away, he would have had him properly, right? It was only 100%. For that split second, and then the Arsenal player pushed him, where it sort of, was like a bit like, oh, he just touched him.
But to me, However,
he was grabbing him. So
VAR should go back and see that. It's the intent of him doing it.
Correct. I do agree.
That same fuckwit,
exactly right.
I don't know what his fucking name is, but that same fucking wanker, he you wouldn't have seen it in a replay, like in a mini match or anything like that. But through the game, there was a period there where Jesus ran through and was trying to shield off the ball, and the guy literally like elbowed him in the back.
I did see that. Yes, I did see that.
Push it. And to me, like, that's a fucking yellow. If anything, at worst case, that is a yellow card. So you're talking about 3 or 4 decisions leading up to that. Tackle on Saka, 2 tackles on Jesus. I don't think he was the one that gave away one of the penalties, but he did one of the decisions in the box. Then he goes and headbutts, and then he goes and chokes, and he only walks away with the yellow the whole fucking game. To me, like, decisions like that, and that's why I say to you, like, look, we didn't play the best, but when you have a referee that can't control a game and is so inconsistent and it isn't calling those fouls, like, it stops Arsenal from playing a style of football because it knows that Southampton can literally tackle and do whatever the fuck they want to those players, and they're getting away with it. Yeah. I don't think any of them got a foul other than that headbutt. We were getting fouls given away for just bullshit. And I think that was that guy's first refereeing. I think he's like a new ref that they added to the Premier League or some shit like that. Like, if that's the new caliber referee you're fucking adding, I want those old fucking donkeys back, because that is a joke of a standard of refereeing in this league.
We're in serious trouble if that's the case.
They need to bring in. When I watch Bundesliga, Serie A, La Liga, like, those referees are decent. They have control over the game. They have respect in those games. Our guys here, they're fucking useless. They don't use VAR properly. The people in the VAR box, but how many times do we need to say it? Like, they don't do their job. No one checks it. No one watches the playback. Like, in those decisions, why aren't you sending a referee over? Even if it's a penalty decision and the referee didn't call a penalty, VAR should look at it and say, mate, we're not sure in this one. Do you want to go have a look? The fact that you don't even let the referee go and see that second view, like, I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me.
I do agree. If you're the way I look at the game, right, is that overall, and obviously, I've just mentioned to you, that three decisions where I completely disagree with.
And that's just the ones you saw in the mini. Like, you watched that for 90 minutes, bro. That was the whole game. The whole game.
Only the ones I saw in the mini.
If you watch every Arsenal Twitter,
I was going to say, if you're a Southampton supporter, right, you would go, righto, great game plan within reason, right? Like,
you had to rough them off. Yeah. You had to rough them up.
100%. Yeah, 100%. You're in great form. Although Southampton are in at home, they will happily take a point, because they're going to be in a relegation battle. So against Arsenal, they will happily take a point. So they thought, fuck, all right. They probably figured out in the first 5 minutes, a couple of pulls, a couple of elbows, a couple of this and a couple of that. So they thought, shit, we can get away. We can fucking get away with this the whole game. Let's make it tough. Let's make it. It's one of those games, right, where
we generally did not get
better footballing side is going like, fuck, that is bullshit. However, it's one of those games, right, where, like a League Two plays a Premier League club, in the FA Cup, quarterfinal, and the League Two managed to get all the way, because they just fucking give it, they're just dirty, just give it to them. They're absolute shit house, but they just like let them know that they're there the whole game. Where you're like, that's bullshit.
To me, look, this is nothing against the way Southampton. If I was Southampton and I didn't have the caliber or the style that like, they weren't playing good football. So to me, if I'm the manager, I'm sending them out and say, fucking rough these guys up. Give them a shock to the system. Knock Jesus. Yeah. Give friggin' Saka like, take him out, like, stamp it. You know what I mean? Like, you do that in like when we play now. You know what I mean? So there's no reason. But the fact is that the referee, at a point, you got to gain control of the game, and these referees aren't doing that. They're not gaining control, and the inconsistency with every decision. And then on top of that, you have a system that can help you with those decisions, especially key decisions in times that we should have had a red card. In times, like 12 minutes left of the game, and they should have a red card. 12 minutes. That's 12 minutes plus the extra 20 minutes of Arsenal lobbing in crosses, attacking with the chances that we can create. We can fucking get a goal. That changes the whole game dynamic there. So a decision like that, the penalty that's early on that we should get, changes the whole. Maybe it puts a nail in there. They just don't get free. It's one of those games, and I just hope that doesn't happen again. But that whether it's us or it's another team, that those decisions are gonna keep happening again. And it's just frustrating, frustrating. Obviously, one thing, obviously, we didn't lose. And you're gonna have games, like I think Chelsea went there and got a draw. I think last year Manchester City went there and got a draw as well.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have games where it's a tough, rugged game, and you hope that you win, but you walk away with a draw or a loss. It's gonna happen. And I think I even said to you, like before these 4 games are played, before the thingo, I would have taken 9 to 10 points out of 12, and I said that. So if that's our draw, and hopefully we can win the next 3, at worst case, a draw, 2 wins, 8 points out of 12, not the worst thing that's ever happened in a tough period where players are tired. You've played 12 games in 30 days. You know what I mean? With pretty much the exact same squad. We don't have a depth like City. We don't have a depth like Chelsea. Chelsea can put a second team in and they can still be strong. We don't have that.
We're the same.
You guys are the same as well. Like, we don't have anyone, bro. Like, we're sitting on a bench. We're bringing in fucking Eddie Nketiah. We took off our best creative player in Martinelli, the only player driving forward, the only player tracking back, the only one creating chances, and we take him off. You know what I mean? So, oh, whoopsie. Was my microphone loud then?
No.
No. Okay, good. But you know what I mean? Like, it just, some of the decisions were just not right for me. I think managerial decisions, playing Tomiyasu left back, I didn't like it. Too negative. Then he put him in right back. I didn't like it. Tierney should have started from the start. So, hopefully it's a live and learn. Nottingham, obviously, they're going to have all the confidence in the world. We'll talk about it in our preview because we'll get into that obviously now. So 40 minutes. But it's gonna be a tough game. But look, we might as well obviously start talking about the predictions that we just had last week. Well, not last week, through the weekend.
Yeah, Friday night. Only 3 days ago.
At the moment for the tally, I am up 3-2 in the weekly tips. So this week we obviously had. Let me actually probably have all the results fresh in our mind anyway.
Yeah. I remember them all.
Yeah. So Liverpool, Nottingham Forest. You and I, we both obviously tipped in that game. A Liverpool win. I went for a 4-0. You went for a 3-0. Just you'd think that might have happened, but obviously completely.
You got to shoot so easily.
Yeah, so we both got that one completely wrong. Chelsea versus Man United. You went for a United 2-0 win. I actually went for a 2-2 draw. Quite close. So I do get a +1 there. +1, unfortunately. Southampton versus Arsenal. This is where you get a +3, my friend. You got an exact 1-1 score in that one. I went for a 3-0, so I got a big fat 0, unfortunately.
I did say that you had to drop points eventually, so I went on the fly.
Yeah, you did. You jinxed us. Spurs versus Newcastle. And the thing is, like, first half, we actually didn't play that bad. We should have just taken more chances. But it is what it is. Spurs versus Newcastle. You went for a 0-0 result. I went for the 1-1. Obviously the result 2-1 to Newcastle. We both lose out in that one. And then Wolves and Leicester City. I think what was the Leicester one?
4-0. Yeah, Leicester.
Leicester won 4-0. Flogged them. Yeah, that is a flogging. So Leicester City obviously won that game. You actually had a Wolves 1-0, so you didn't get any points.
Shit.
Yeah, and I had a Leicester City 2-1, so I only get a single point. So I finish off with the correct, obviously, wins for the United game and obviously Leicester game. But you take the cake because you got the correct score for the Arsenal Southampton game. So the scores have gone to 3-3 now.
I did. Geez, that was a shit round from both of us then, wasn't it?
Pretty bad. But to be honest, it was a pretty shock round, I think, from the whole and with nearly every match. Like out of all the top games, City was the only one to capitalize. Like at the end of the day, Liverpool lost, Tottenham lost, so Arsenal gained still 1 point on them. You guys drew, we drew, so we stay the same distance, 8 or 9 points, whatever we are away. So it realistically, for a weekend that like for myself, I'm talking from an Arsenal perspective, if this was the weekend to drop points, we're not feeling it. Of course, City are going to be up there. It's just City. We're not unrealistic to think that they're not going to catch us. You know what I mean? It's fucking impossible for them not to.
Haaland with another brace. Fucking hell, 16 so far this year.
I don't even want to talk about it. It's just boring now. It's boring because it's going to happen every freaking week. So what I've done is I've got a list here of the upcoming fixtures for the next weekend. to discuss. So we've got a Newcastle versus Aston Villa. I thought that would be a good game. Obviously, Villa coming off a very big win this morning after the sacking of Mr. Slippy G, 4-0. Convincing, good football. Got that. And obviously, Leicester City coming off the exact same result. Or was it Leicester City? No, Newcastle coming off a great result.
Newcastle, yeah. That'll be a good game. Very good.
I think it'll be a good game, yeah. So what do you think? It's Newcastle at home, which seems to be a fortress of late.
Yes, I do agree. I think
Leicester City have been up and down all year, honestly.
No, it's Newcastle versus Villa.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Villa. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah. Newcastle, again, as I mentioned to you, only one loss throughout the season. However, I'm a big believer, in rebounds. I would have tipped 4-0 or 3-0 up after?
No way.
Or 3-0 up after 11 minutes? No. But, would I have tipped? Did I tip a Villa win? Yes, I did. Definitely tipped a Villa win.
Yeah.
So,
I always think that new manager bounce. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think, I don't think they're going to beat Newcastle. However, I think it could be a 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a Newcastle 2-1. Just because they seem to just be getting results, honestly. Playing good football. The defense is good. Scoring a lot of goals as well. So, 2-1 to Newcastle.
Well.
Yeah, 2-1 to Newcastle for me because St. James's Park has just been a fortress, honestly.
Yeah.
They're doing so well there. Man United versus West Ham.
Yeah, I'm tipping
because obviously the Hammers they play tomorrow against Bournemouth.
Yep.
And then also I'm just trying to look back here. What was their? They lost to Liverpool 1-0, but should have got a result out of that game.
Yes,
they definitely played better.
Well, they missed a pen.
They missed a pen and they played better. So you'd think that they will beat Bournemouth. You'd think so tomorrow.
Are you going to go first then?
You guys realistically should. You've dropped points. You've dropped points against Newcastle. You dropped points against Chelsea. West Ham. You guys struggle to score as well. I might go. I think you guys could win and should win, but I'm going to go with a 1-1. Just because West Ham are playing decent.
Yeah.
And I think they should win tomorrow. And you guys are a little bit just up and down. I'm just not 100% convinced.
I'm just thinking.
Really, you guys are just really struggling to score. That's my thing. And then also,
I agree, yes.
I am factoring in as well the fact that Varane and that Martinez partnership is obstruct as well. So that I'm factoring that in as well. That's why I'm going like a 1-1. So is he going to play Maguire?
That's what worries me very much because usually I'd be very confident, but I look at that and
I'm just factoring in, you guys not scoring, and then also that disruption in the centre back. Yeah.
I would.
Then does he bring Ronaldo back in the fold? You don't know.
Yeah, exactly. There's a few big decisions to be made, right? So
it's going to be big decisions for you guys.
I would say I would. You know what? Without Varane, I'd usually probably say West Ham 2-1. However, I just think with Casemiro there, I think he's probably been man of match, mate. The 4 or 5 games that he started for us, I think he's been man of match every single time.
Yeah, but that's why you go and buy one of the best CDMs in the world. That's what you want.
Yeah, correct. So I'm actually going to say a 1-0 win, Man United. Scrappy, but I reckon we'll get the result. Yeah.
I can definitely see he's going to result. Like I said, it's just for me, I'm factoring in just Varane out. That's a big shake-up because they've built a decent partnership now. And, Lindelof, is it Lindelof that'll be the other one? And maybe Maguire.
Yeah, either Lindelof or Maguire, yeah.
And they're both fucking Martinez. Honestly, it's a much of a muchness. Whichever one you put in, they're both going to fucking have howlers. You know what I mean? So, I'll stick with 1-1 in that game. Leicester City. I think it's Leicester City. Leicester City versus Manchester City.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, Leicester City versus Manchester. I think it's actually the first game of the weekend.
It is.
What do you think? What do you think that one's going to be? I'm actually. You know what? I'll go first in this one. Yep, I think this one might be a little bit of a shake-up. I don't think could Leicester City win? Leicester City could win, but I think I'm going to go with a 2-2 in this game. I'm going to go with a 2-2. City to drop points.
I was just about to say, mate, Leicester City have only lost 1 in the last 5, considering how shit of a start they were in there.
Playing good football, man. Scoring a lot of goals as well.
Correct. They're hitting form.
And look, you guys got 3 against them, man. Newcastle got 2 against them. Like, their defense isn't like the greatest right now.
Correct. They're just scoring though. They're just starting.
It's just Haaland. It's fucking Haaland.
Oh, you're talking about City.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about both. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. So I thought you were talking about. I was going to say Maddison's in fucking great form for Leicester.
He's crazy. Yeah. Crazy.
And obviously Haaland for City. Like ridiculous.
God, missing. He's just not missing.
Ridiculous. I think. I don't
honestly. It's so hard to tip against Man City to not win. It really is.
Correct, but I think as I mentioned about Forest versus Liverpool, I do agree with you. I think it could definitely be one. I think it could definitely be one of those games, right? With the form that Leicester's in at home, they'll be going in quietly confident, right? If they can, a good half hour, to really fucking stick it to them, and get City rattled, because as we know, right, when City don't have the chance to play the football that they want to, they can get seriously shaken up fairly easily.
Well, it was like us yesterday against Southampton.
I'm going to say a City 3-1 win, though.
3-1 to City. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 3-1 there. Fulham versus Everton. I thought that might be a good game,
Yes.
You can go first on this one. Obviously, what was I going to say? Fulham.
Who's at home?
Fulham are at home.
Fulham are at home.
The Cottage. So Fulham obviously coming off a 3-2 and Everton coming off that 3-0 to Palace. So, both going to be quite confident. I think more so maybe Fulham. But, Dominic Calvert-Lewin's back for Everton. Obviously, that's a big presence that they've missed.
Massive.
So he's going to be back. And then, but Mitrovic is still firing. What's he? I think 8 or 9 goals now or something like that.
Yeah, doing well. And he's missed a few games as well.
And he's missed a few penalties. He's missed 2 penalties, I think.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
So he's such a big presence for them. Yeah, it's going to be a tough game to call.
I'm actually just having it is, and hence why I'm actually just having some results, right? And I'm just having a look at well,
if you're going on form, you're going like two losses, a draw, 2 wins, and then Everton has obviously got 3 losses and a win.
But I'm just looking at like Fulham's games, right? So they've been 5 goals, 3 goals, 4 goals, 4 goals, 5 goals, 5 goals, 3 goals, 3 goals, 3 goals, 5 goals, and then a draw, and then a scoreless draw, and then against Liverpool 4 goals, right? So there's that usually in Fulham games, right? They're entertaining. Like average of say probably 3.5 to 4 goals a game. Whether or not they lose 4-0, but there's 3 or 4 goals a game. So usually there's goals in this game. So I'm going to say, I'm going to go completely against the run of play, probably fucking laugh after the first 8 minutes and go a 0 or draw. How's that?
0 or draw. Fuck, you are going against the grain though.
I'm just might as well throw one out there.
Fulham at home. Dominic Calvert-Lewin being back though. I'm gonna go. 3-1. 3-1 to Everton.
Everton.
Everton, just because of the presence of Dominic Calvert-Lewin. That's pretty much
fair enough. Yeah.
So, and like you said, like there's always a lot of goals at Fulham. So
always.
But look, that game can go literally either way. I'm not going to be shocked whether Fulham win that or whether Fulham's in great form. They're deservedly where they are in the league, playing good football, scoring good goals, and it is. And also, Bert Leno has been sensational since going there. I think he's got the highest save rate in the league at the moment. Most saves. So, Arsenal versus Nottingham, our last game of the week.
Yes.
That we're tipping. I think we are the last game of the week as well.
No, we are. We're straight after you.
Oh, you're literally straight after us? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, 2:15. We're at midnight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nottingham obviously winning 1-0 against Liverpool. Before that, obviously completely fucking abysmal. But I do think that 1-0 result was quite an anomaly. I think it was more of a one-off, to be honest. I do think that we will bounce back. And we have to. Anything other than 3 points here is pretty embarrassing. I'm not going to lie. We're struggling to get the ball in the back of the net the last 2 games. The chances are there, but we're just struggling to just convert it. Jesus in a little before, even Arteta came after the press conference and said that, Jesus is going to be angry with the way he played because he didn't take his chances. So the players know that. I just hope that in between, because we do have a PSV game on Thursday, that we rest
a lot of Europa as well.
Yeah, the problem is out of our 24-man squad, we've only got 16 available or 17 available. So, we're forced to play these players and they're constantly tired because they're playing all the time. Yeah. So,
we had Delo, right? Just quickly, we had Delo.
Yeah.
We had Delo that's played 4 90-minute games in the last 9 days.
It's crazy, yeah.
Fucking crazy. And right backs, we've got no one.
Yeah, because we're same as us, we don't have. I think we've got Rob Holding as a backup centre back who rotates out. Midfield is exactly the same. Partey comes out because he's more injury prone, and Lokonga goes in.
Yeah.
Left back, it's just we only have like the left back, right back, the sames. We don't really trust. We got a little we got a 17-year-old kid as Marquinhos as our right wing backup, so you have to play Saka. Martinelli's essentially our only left wing because Emil Smith Rowe's out. Odegaard gets a rest because Vieira's a cam, but Vieira hasn't been the best. And then Eddie plays for Jesus. So,
that's not really comparing apples with apples.
So, you know what I mean? So it's a bit hard, but I just hope that we try rest as many important players as we can. It could maybe be good for Jesus to maybe play the last 25, 30 minutes for confidence to try get a goal. In that midweek game. But look, I'm going to stay confident going into this game. We haven't been playing shocking. The fact that fans are messaging me and fucking trying to laugh at me that we drew a game. We didn't even lose. We drew a game and we're still top of the table and I'm getting bantered like that. It just, it's just unbelievable, but I still think that we'll win. I'm going to go because we have been a little bit sloppy in defense. Nottingham, they really do struggle to score, eh?
I know exactly what I'm going.
Yeah, you probably fucking put Nottingham for a win, you dickhead. I'm gonna go Arsenal. I'm gonna go Arsenal 3-1. It's at home, and we've been a colossal at home. Honestly, man, we've been unbelievable at home. So it's only the away games we've struggled. The 2 away games were Southampton, Leeds. We struggled at, and obviously you guys. But we beat Palace clean sheet. We beat I can't remember. We beat a couple other teams clean sheet as well away from home. So at home, we've been exceptional. We've been fucking battering teams. So fans have been amazing. And I think that stadium aspect is helping us a lot. The fact that we've been so amazing at home. And yeah, I'm going to go 3-1. I think we'll get a lot of goals and probably concede something sloppy. But, I'd love a clean sheet, but I'll go 3-1.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because I'm going to go with probably a little bit of an unrealistic answer or guess. And I'm going to tip Arsenal.
Yeah.
4-0. I think it will be an absolute landslide.
I hope that you're right, my friend.
I just got a funny feeling.
You know what? I hope you get all 3 points.
They're really going to fucking pull it. But I just got a funny feeling,
I hope you overtake me on the table now because of that. I hope that you're right. You were right about the 1-1, so I hope you're right about the 4-0.
Oh, that's true.
I'll be more than happy. I'll be more than happy if you bang on again. But look, okay, so look, I do think that we'll be comfortable. It's at home. The atmosphere and the way we're playing is so different right now. So I am a lot more confident at home than I am away. Okay, so Newcastle Villa, you've gone with a 1-1. I've gone with a Newcastle 2-1. Manchester United, West Ham. I've gone for 1-1 draw. You've gone for a United scrappy 1-0. Yep. Arsenal, Nottingham. I've gone for a 3-1 possible conceding a goal. You've gone for an Arsenal slapping of 4-0. Fingers crossed. Leicester City versus Man City. You've gone for the standard 3-1 Manchester City. I've gone for a little bit of a shake-up 2-2. And Fulham versus Everton. You've gone for a 0-0. I've gone for a Everton 3-1. So at the end of the day, there's no way we're going to draw that. Someone's going to win.
No, ain't nothing. Definitely not going to draw. B. Jeez, I put a 3 fucking odd ones in there. Like four goal averages in a Fulham game, and I've said that there's going to be 0. So it should be interesting.
That one will be a very, very odd one. But yeah, that's how we see our picks. Anything else you want to bring up, or is that it for the week until next week?
No, mate,
I reckon pretty much everything. Yeah.
Yep, I reckon we're smooth sailing.
stressful life. But
enjoy some Europa on Friday morning, and we move on to the weekend.
Yeah, waking up at 1:30 a.m. for games. Fun.
Yeah, can't wait.
Yeah. All right, guys, appreciate you being here. If you're still watching, make sure you like and subscribe and share the video, guys. Peace out. Appreciate you being here. Bless.
Hooroo.